You're listening to SM Media, the number one place for consistent West of Scotland Football League coverage. Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the Scottish Football Show Extra right here on SM Media. This is your West of Scotland only show. We are going to take a look at the Scottish Cup this week. There's 3 West of Scotland teams reached the 4th round of the Scottish Cup. Such a brilliant achievement for all 3 teams, Clydebank, Darvel and Auchinleck. I have brought along Lochlin Highet from the Daily Record to talk about this. Lochlin, pleasure to have you on. Thanks very much for doing this.
Hi mate, thanks for having me. Always nice.
Absolute pleasure. Brilliant to have you on. Obviously, we've spoken about this in the past. The pyramid system has obviously allowed these teams to get their West of Scotland and SFA membership and be able to compete in these competitions. It's some achievement for all 3 teams to get into the 4th round of the Scottish Cup. It's a great advert for the league as a whole.
Oh, it is. It's incredible. You know, we all know about how well Talbot's been over the years, but it's nice that they've been joined by a couple of teams in the last 32. Obviously, Talbot's not managed to get by this round yet, so nice, easy task for them as well, as we'll touch on. But the likes of Darvel, their first ever year in the competition, it's been an incredible job by Mick and John and the guys, and Clydebank as well. Obviously, they've got history of in these kind of levels, but it's great to see them back as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's some achievement for all 3 teams. Obviously, before we get into talking about all 3 teams, it's obviously Cumnock didn't get through and things like that. There's going to be a lot more teams going to get into this level as well. We've seen the likes of Annan are going to go for their SFA membership. It's going to be the kind of standard that all the West of Scotland teams are going to try and get to this level at some point, aren't they?
Aye, absolutely. As you say, co-winning. I think they're at an advanced stage.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they've been approved yet. Irvine Meadow, they're hoping to get it done by the end of this season. You know, these are big clubs, and they're not going to be in the competition to fill numbers. You know, they're going to be in. They want Irvine Meadow's done it before, beating Arbroath. You know, they played at Easter Road. You know, these teams want a taste of that again, and co-winning, they've not had it. They'll be jealous of all these teams that's getting their big paydays, because that's ultimately what it comes down to as well. It's the money when you're Talbot's been to Tynecastle twice, and they've been able to install floodlights and stuff off the back of games like that. It's incredible for these teams to. None of them's had a big one at Parkhead or Ibrox yet, but that's the dream for one of these teams, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but we'll move into talking about all 3 teams. Obviously, they've got big games coming up this weekend. We'll start with Clydebank going to Annan. They host Annan. They beat the likes of Elgin and Clyde to get to that stage as well. We saw them against Elgin, but I'd probably say that at half-time of the first game, you'd think Clydebank are probably not going to make it, but it's been some achievement for Gordon and the guys to get for that game, and then obviously beating Clyde. It's been some journey for them so far.
Aye, absolutely. It's a kind of fairy tale, the way their journey's been over the years, and as you say, beating Elgin, I think they got there as well. And
they went up there.
Right? Done, I don't think there's many teams go up to Elgin and get kind of positive results. It is a kind of tough place to go, I'm led to believe, and beating Clyde as well. Clyde are a top team. Danny Lennon's in charge there.
Yeah, David Goodwillie scoring every week as well.
They've got a good team. They're a kind of a top team, and beating them is, Celtic have suffered over the years.
Exactly.
So they've been serious in that, but it's a great result for Clydebank to get to this stage. Anything's a bonus, and at home to a League 2 team. Why not? Why can they not get to the last 16?
Yeah, obviously Annan, they're flying as well in League 2. I think they're sitting 3rd. They've had a really good start as well. Obviously Peter Murphy and Colin McMenamin are there, good friends of the show. But I would say, obviously, I think it's easy to say Clydebank probably have the easier task, particularly being at home, and it's a League 2 side. I think Darvel and Talbot do have the harder games. I think that's clear to see. But Clydebank must fancy their chances. It's a massive game for them. And as you say, the history of the club as well, to get back to that stage, that's what they've been dreaming of for so many years.
Aye, absolutely. I think these teams are even dreaming about getting to the last 32. But I think when you get to that stage and you get a home draw against a team, they're in a lower league than a team they've already beaten. So you've got to start dreaming. Obviously, Annan, they're a good team. They beat Kelty quite convincingly.
Yeah, they beat them 4-1, yeah.
So, obviously, that Annan, again, they're in the last 32, so they can't be all bad. So I'd imagine Annan will be looking at this as a good chance to get to the last 16 as well, in that token. But, I mean, when you're Clydebank, you've got to look at it and you've got to think, well, go out there, win a game in front of your fans, and they'll be delighted fans are back for this as well, because I'd imagine that will be close to a sellout up there.
How big's that as well within the fun? We'll touch on that with Talbot as well, but how big is it having the fans back at a stage like that? Because that's what you're looking for. See, when you're a West of Scotland team, that's the big games. You want to be there, you want to soak it in, and that's what they're going to get now.
Aye, it's massive. Like, that's the only thing these fans deserve a day like this.
Absolutely.
Following teams in the juniors over the years, they'd have been used to games maybe with small crowds, like certain weeks, and they've followed the big guys that's been there every week for 10, 20, 30 years, and this is the carrot that you chase in it, and it's great that these clubs must have been so worried that obviously it's a financial hit, but just for their supporters as well, that they maybe weren't going to get to see such a momentous occasion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but we spoke to the Clydebank manager Gordon Moffat about his side's chances this weekend. So we're absolutely thrilled to be joined by the Clydebank manager Gordon Moffat. Gordon, it's a pleasure to welcome you on. Thanks very much for doing this.
No worries, Scott. Good to see you again.
It's been a busy week.
Aye, it is. I'm currently sitting in a hotel room in Manchester with work, so quick meeting tomorrow and then back up the road for training. So it's been a busy week between work and football. It's been manic.
Aye. Obviously, this occasion, Annan hosting Annan in the fourth round of the Scottish Cup. Like for the club's perspective, first and foremost, like this is an occasion they've been building towards for many, many years since obviously the situation years ago. How big an occasion is this upcoming game for them?
I think it's I've probably been saying the same all the way through the tournament, Scott. I think every round's been big, right back to the first round tie with Dalkeith. That was a huge occasion for the club to be back in the Scottish Cup. So obviously as we progress through the tournament, well now it feels a wee bit surreal, not just for us. I think having 3 teams for our league. Yeah. With a chance at the last 16 of the Scottish Cup is crazy. So I mean it's a huge occasion for the club. Again, we've been lucky enough that said that to players last night at training. Actually, they've created some great memories for the fans this season, and that people will forget and they'll remember for a long, long time. So it's another one. It's another big occasion, and we'll need to try and grab it.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, beating the likes of Elgin and Clyde to get there, it must have been some occasion to beat 2 SPFL teams to get to that journey, and then you've got a third one in the next round.
I mean, it's been tough games, really tough tests for us. But the guys have come through it. They've showed sort of what we're capable of. I think obviously at the moment, it's no secret. We've lost the first 2 games of the year in the league, which it's frustrating. Because we were in such a good run, and we kind of had great plans for through the break, the winter break with training and friendlies, which we never got to do any of through COVID. So I feel like we come in a wee bit cold and a wee bit sluggish, but I'm confident we'll get ourselves back. And there's probably no better game actually, Scott, to be honest. We've not started the year great with a couple of defeats. There's probably no better game to lift us. So looking forward to it. It's another sort of free hit for us, and the boys sort of know a wee bit more what to expect this time.
Yeah. See, for the players as well, how big an occasion is it for them? Obviously, the main round of the Scottish Cup, it must be one of those occasions that they've been thinking about all week is like a dream for them.
I mean, I said that to the boys last night. Obviously, it's a wee bit different because, we lost the game at the weekend. So guys are, we're hurting for that, obviously. But when we came in on Tuesday, we had to refocus and be ready for this one now. So, there's a good buzz about the place again this week, and there's some guys here taking photos last night, and so all that kind of stuff that goes hand in hand with it this week. It's always a different week, the build up to the Scottish Cup game. So it's great, it's great to feel that atmosphere around the club, and the boys are looking forward to it. You know, we had a good chat at the end of training last night, and just said to them that, you know, we go and grab it again. You know, he's capable of getting to that level. So we just need to go and try and see what we can do in the day. I think the big difference this time is that, you know, we're playing Annan, who are probably the form team in League Two at the minute. You know, they beat the league leaders, of 9 or 10 unbeaten. Probably the difference with the Elgin and Clyde game was they were probably in sticky spells at the time when we played them. I mean, Clyde have went on a good run since we played them, and Elgin picked up a wee bit as well. But, you know, I think that makes a difference. But at the same time, you know, it's another opponent of round about that same level. So, you know, we've got to believe we can go and compete.
Obviously, as well, for the supporters, how big an occasion is it going to be for them, and how important will they be for the team?
I know they'll be massive. I think the fans have played a huge part in us getting through both those rounds, and the Dalkeith game. I don't want to disrespect that tie, but certainly with the league opponents, they've played a massive part. Obviously, we've seen what happened with the TV game. They lifted us in the second half, and the players responded, and we get a replay, and then, you know, people at short notice we're getting a few hundred people up in Elgin, you know, at a few days' notice, and really rode the boys over the line. And then the Clyde game, I thought it was even better. You know, I think we got our tails up for the goal in the first half, and then the second half, the boys were excellent against Clyde in the second half, and the crowd fed off that, and vice versa. And it was great atmosphere, you know. And I think that with fans being allowed back in, if we had to cut that to 500, that would have been a blow for us. You know, that would have been a bit of a blow to our chances. So to get the full capacity back in, it's a big shot in the arm for us, definitely.
Before you go, is there a wee prediction in Annan? Like, what's your thoughts on Annan, and when kind of keeping an eye on them? What's your kind of preparation going into the game?
Good side, really good side. Got some good experience to their team. They've got legs. They're well organised. We've also done a lot of homework on them. We've been to watch them a couple of times, and also got some of the footage as well. So, they're going to be a real tough test. They've got 3 or 4 really good individuals, but I think on top of that, they're a really good unit. They all know their jobs, and you know, it's going to be a difficult tie. But, you know, like I said, we focus on us. We'll do the same as what we did for Elgin and Clyde. You know, we'll come up with a game plan to, you know, what I and my guys think is the best way to go about it. And we'll put that onto the guys, and if they can carry it out, you know, the Clyde game, they carried out what we said in the morning and the game plan at the team meeting to an absolute T. So if we go and do that again, you know, you never know. It's one of them that probably most people don't expect us to win, so that probably suits us. We'll go and have a free hit at them.
Gordon, we wish you the very best of luck. Thanks very much for doing this.
No worries, Scott.
Brilliant.
Take care, mate. Cheers.
Move into talking about Darvel, and Lochlin, obviously you've covered Darvel for a couple of years or so. See if you'd said 10 years ago that Darvel are going to win the Scottish Cup, you would have thought you were mad, wouldn't you? I mean, it's been such a massive boost of infrastructure. Obviously, we know John Gall's been involved in that as well. It's some achievement for Darvel to get from where they were to being in the Scottish Cup and wanting to go even further.
Aye, no, absolutely. Darvel were playing bottom tier football in the junior and the Ayrshire District League, you know, 6 years ago. It's John Gall. He's such a likeable guy, and he's done an incredible job at Darvel. You know, he takes a bit of stick at times, you know, to the outsiders, but he's so dedicated. He's done such a great job, and to get somebody like Mick in, he's done a great job as well, and the contacts that he has to get the players in. You know, I know the chat will be all the money they're spending, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You look at clubs that have put money in over the years and they've got nowhere. So, you know, they're doing the right things off the park. Their facilities are, you know, second to none, especially at this level. And you know, they deserve everything they're getting as well. Their first ever year in the Scottish Cup, and I was down at Stranraer for down there, and I've watched them quite a lot this season. I was at their game at the weekend when they beat Cambuslang. They're flying as well. They've scored 70, 80 goals, and they only get the one against Darvel. Darvel with 10 men for the last half hour and still won comfortably. I think they're 13 unbeaten and 12
Yeah,
wins.
they're flying in the league, guy.
Looking in, and they've got a mammoth task against one of the most talked about clubs in the country. So it's tough to predict a win for Darvel, but they could be in any better form, and they've got players that have played at that level and round about that level. So again, that's one you can look at. Why not?
Aye, that as you say that. Talbot, I would say Talbot have got the players, like the experience, but they've all kind of done it with Talbot. You look at like Ian McShane, Darryl Meggett, they've played at that SPFL level. They know what it's like to play in these types of games. That could be massive for them as well. Darvel got there, obviously beating Shinrai, as you said, were at that game. And then the games against Brecon, obviously the draw away and then beating them at home in penalties was the tightest of margins as well. How big will that boost be for Darvel getting to that stage, obviously through the tightest of margins in a massive kind of game against Brecon, who are obviously flying in the Highland League as well?
Yeah, it's huge because obviously they took the lead up there. Darvel went live in the telly, and that's another incredible achievement as well.
Exactly,
Darvel in the telly, that's amazing. But they'd be disappointed not to win the first leg, and then when they were so close to winning in 90 minutes as well. It was just a wonder goal that sent it to penalties. And then that's when you have to start thinking, there's a luck there's no in here, if you're a Darvel fan. But no, they did the job. Big Chris Truesdale saved a couple of spot kicks. He sent them through. It's when it gets to a lottery when it goes to penalties, and when you do prevail, it's the worst way to lose, but it's the best way to win. It's one of them. It's like a kind of cliche, but they'll be riding high. And I spoke to Mick at the weekend, and I says, he's got no pressure. That's no lighties, and he's like, no, I'll be putting pressure on them, and that's understandable. But really, there's no pressure on Darvel to go to Gayfield and get a result. It's there's one of the most informed clubs in the country. They're 4 points clear in a full-time league. Obviously, not great from a Kelly point of view, right enough. But they're doing an incredible job, and Dick Campbell's doing a great job. Yeah. But there's no pressure in Darvel to go there, so they can go and play. They play great football, Darvel. So there's no reason why they can't go up there and give a good account of themselves.
Yeah, as we say, you're talking there about Arbroath. They're absolutely flying in the Championship. I know you've said there you'll not be liking that yourself personally, but they are the talking team of Scottish football at the moment. They're sitting top of the Championship. Do you think they can keep that? I know we're kind of going on a wee bit of a tangent, but do you think they can keep that going? Do you think they are that good, or do you think it's kind of been a wee blip, like a wee run that's maybe just too good to be true kind of thing? Does that make sense?
Well, I hope they fall away. But no, it's one of them. Every week you look to think, surely this is a week. They'll stutter, and the air. Obviously, I think that was kind of mind that would, but they lost the air a couple.
They lost the air in Boxing Day, I think, didn't they?
Is that them maybe hitting it? But then back and they were down 1-0 to Wraith, and they beat Wraith at Starks, which is incredible in itself, because that's another tough place to go. It's they're 4 points clear, so as long as it's all in their hands now. If the good thing is for them is they've beaten every team in the top 5, whereas Kelly have only beaten one team in the top 5, so which is incredible. If you were to look at the start of the season and with deciding who was doing that, it would certainly be the other way. But they're doing an incredible job, and I think I read they've beaten 9 out of the 10 teams in the league, so they can beat everybody. So why not?
Aye, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be some game for Darvel to go to Arbroath. You're getting Arbroath at probably the best time you can get them. Obviously, they're flying at the top of the league and things like that. It's going to be some game for Darvel. I spoke to the manager, Mick Kennedy, about their chances at the weekend. We're absolutely thrilled to be joined by the Darvel manager, Mick Kennedy. Mick, it's a busy week ahead, and obviously been so far. How much are you looking forward to the game on Saturday?
I think everybody connected with the club is looking forward to it. It's obviously been a few weeks since we obviously won the last round, so everybody's looking forward to it. It'll be finally just get the road, to be honest with you. It's sort of I'm wanting to focus on obviously a league campaign and domestic cups and stuff like that. So, but it's a welcome distraction, I suppose. But we're looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Obviously, the journey to get there. Obviously, the win against Junrar and then the Brecon game. Obviously, home and away. won it in penalties. How big a relief was that to win that game? And obviously this is the next round against Arbroath is going to be another test.
No, definitely. I think obviously two very difficult rounds to get through against Stranraer, who have done really well this year, to be fair. And Brecon over the two legs or over two ties was a really demanding games, to be fair. Listen, Brecon have massively improved. They get relegated, and I think they'll be one of the favourites probably to win the Highland League this year. So, but I think the other two games we deserve to go to the next round. And then obviously we've been drawn away to Arbroath. Listen, probably one of the most informed teams in the country at this point, so I probably couldn't get a harder tie away from home, to be fair. But listen, it's the club's first year in the Senior Scottish Cup, so everybody's just looking towards it with a wee bit of excitement, I suppose.
Aye, definitely. Obviously, with yourself and John in particular, that's like the Scottish Cup's obviously been one of the focuses for you. That was obviously one of the reasons you went to Darvel, obviously, to get the club into that kind of level. It must be a big thing for you and John to get there at this point now.
Listen, massive. I only joined the club probably 2 years ago, so it's been quite a remarkable journey in such a very short space of time. And not only the fact that we're obviously in the Senior Scottish Cup, but the fact we're able to go in and compete with clubs in League Two and the Highland League and stuff like that. So it's some fantastic credit to probably me to everybody else who connected with the club with myself, to be fair. There's a massive amount of work gets done behind the scenes to put the club in a position that it is today, to be fair.
Yeah, obviously as well, like the players, it's one of those games I've obviously been dreaming about. There's a couple of players that have had that experience. I think I like seeing McShane, Darvel, Highet, but for the players as well, it must just be an occasion for them that they obviously use want to win the game, but just it's one of those occasions, obviously enjoying it's one of the main things.
I think for the group, there's probably moments and you look back in your career and there'll be sort of moments and nights probably like away to that Brecon winning in penalties. Listen, I'm sure the group at Auchinleck Talbot have had many remarkable Scottish Cup ties over the years, and I'm sure when their careers come to an end, they'll look back on it with fond memories, and that's really what it will be. Listen, clubs at our level are not going to go on and win the Senior Scottish Cup. I don't have the expects that, but there's moments within each year that you look back and think that was a special moment, and then that as I say, that's what the first couple of rounds have been. Then hopefully Saturday potentially would be another one if we managed to pull off the unthinkable and win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Away to Arbroath.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously the fans as well. This is a big moment for them. How important will they be in Saturday?
Massive. Listen, I said that as we spoke before on the show, I've always said that listen, for the club to be successful and sustainable, then it really needs to get full backing from the community. And I think days that like Saturday as part of us repaying their loyalty and the commitment they're showing the club and support over the last couple of years. When we set out at the start, we said that we wanted to try build something a bit special, and I think days like Saturday is a repayment for that, because it'll be a massive day for the town and the community. And listen, you can look on it. We look forward to it with fond thoughts and memories. Hopefully after it's obviously the tie's complete. Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, finally as well, Arbroath. You said at the start of the show they're sitting top of the championship. Dick Campbell's obviously a big name in Scottish football. What's your kind of thoughts going into the game, and how much you kind of excited to kind of meet Dick and things like that?
Aye, listen, I think he's obviously quite a renowned and remarkable character in our game. To be fair, he's had massive success. Listen, to have the career that any manager have at any level of football, and how long Dick's been in your professional game is remarkable. We know how quickly people disappear at our game after maybe a couple of years managing clubs and that, but he's managed to sustain a really successful long career. He's done a remarkable job at Arbroath to be a part-time club, sit top of the championship come January. There's no fortune behind that. That's obviously testament to him and his coaching staff and the players. And I think also as well that group of players have been together for a number of years and helped them through leagues. It's not as if it's been a massive turnover of players every time we've been promoted. That's been a core group that's done that and achieved that alongside Dick and Ian and the rest of the staff. Yeah. So it's a remarkable achievement. But we're looking forward to it. Listen, we'll go up there with in sort of strategy and game plan and try and implement ourselves in the game and try and take control of it as best we can. But we're very aware of how challenging a game it will be, particularly away at Arbroath.
Yeah, definitely, Mick. We're wishing you all the luck in the world. Thanks very much for coming on, and best of luck.
Good speaking to me. I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers. We'll talk about Auchinleck Talbot. Obviously, Auchinleck Talbot, how they got there is quite remarkable, beating a championship side in Hamilton Accies to get there. That was some game, that.
Aye, it was. Obviously, you were there, I believe, and I was at that as well. I've been to a lot of kind of Scottish Cup games with Talbot over the years, and every time I'm like, surely they can't do it this time, but they just keep doing it. And I went up to Tynecastle a few years ago.
Yeah.
obviously that was 4-0, but it was a kind of strange game. That they did deserve, maybe a goal or two out it. But that game against Hamilton, you get into it, that was the first time you were as much as they were playing a championship team, a former Premier team, you were getting into that. There's no way Talbot's losing this, And I think that's a testament to the work that Tommy Sloan's done over the years. Usually you get into the Ayr game and Cove games, you're thinking, no, this will be winning it. But you were getting into that Hamilton game and thinking, there's no way Hamilton to get a win here, And I think Hamilton kind of underestimated the task.
I think they did as well.
Their team, they had a couple of debutants, if I remember right, and a couple of young lads. I know that they're kind of based around that, but their team, it wasn't the strongest team they could have put out, and they've turned a corner now. I don't know if maybe Stuart Taylor's learned for that. He's kind of, that'll be one of their worst results in history, I'd imagine. So they've obviously they've had to bounce back for that, and they've kind of done that. But it's Talbot just done it again, and as they always do. I don't think I might be wrong, but I don't think they've lost a Scottish Cup game at Beechwood.
No, I don't think they have either, but it's, as you say,
both and went up there and lost. But again, we got the point at the draw at Beechwood. So
we're saying about Beechwood as well. We're talking earlier about the 500 fans. There's going to be close to 5,000 at Beechwood. It's going to be some game in it. It's just going to be some atmosphere. It's going to be on the TV as well. It's such a big day for the Talbot fans, Talbot players. Obviously, we're close to a few of them, Shankers in particular. It's going to be just massive, isn't it? It's going to be a massive occasion for everybody involved.
Yeah, I think with the safety restrictions, it's only ended up being about 3,200. But I get that sold out in less than 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Just show, they could have sold probably 5.
You could have sold 5,000 easy, yeah.
As you're saying, there was probably loyal fans that's missed out in that.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the first come, first served kind of things. But Beechwood's such a unique park. The fans are right on top of the players, and teams to come to Beechwood, they don't think it's going to be like that. They think, the junior team, a non-league team, this will be easy kind of thing. And it's not going to be. I'm not saying they're going to beat Hearts, who are the third best team in the country, which is arguable, but I think that's fair enough when you look at the gap they've got. So Hearts might be a totally different challenge to what they've had, but if anybody's going to do it, it is Talbot.
You look at that Hearts team though, like Craig Gordon, John Souttar's there as well, Stephen Kingsley, Barry Mackay, Josh Ginnelly. It's stacked of talent as well. It's going to be one of those games that I think Talbot, obviously they'll fancy their chances. How could you know it? They've got that record at home, but this is a good Hearts team. This is as you say, it's probably as the third best team in the country. It's going to be a big occasion for the Talbot players. Yeah,
I know it is a good Hearts team, and Robbie Nelson made no bones about it during the week that he's not going to be resting anybody. He's coming down. He's watched Talbot. He'll have seen, and after losing to Brora last year, they'll be making sure there's no kind of dodgy cup exit again. They'll be coming down as he said, likes by the sounds it, he was resting Liam Boyce to be ready for Saturday, which is incredible when obviously he wasn't quite ready for Tuesday, but Nielsen was saying he was wanting him to be ready for Saturday, which that's a credit to Talbot that somebody like Robbie Nielsen is saying that we're needing a star man for a game like that. And as you say, you've got Craig Gordon and all these players. It's an incredible team they've got, and it'll be some occasion for the Talbot fans to see these guys in flesh as well. And it's just incredible that 3 times in 10 years it's been Talbot's got to this stage, and they've ended up with Hearts. It's incredible, and good luck to them. It's good now that they've actually got one at Beechwood to test it, because Tynecastle's a tough place to go for anybody in Scotland. It's a tough place, so now they can see how tough Beechwood is to come to.
As you say, at that level, you talk about a fortress. Beechwood is the place. We saw it the weekend. A last-minute goal for Craig McCracken to get to the quarter-final of Junior Cup. That's what they do. Craig McCracken's got Scottish Cup experience. There's so many players in that team who thrive on that big occasion, and I think it's just going to be a massive game, and it's going to be one of those to sit back and enjoy. I spoke to Auchinleck's Graham Wilson about the game and their thoughts for the weekend. We're absolutely delighted to be joined by Auchinleck Talbot star man Graham Wilson. Graham, it's a pleasure to welcome you on to the show. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. How are we? How's your preparation going into Saturday?
Just the usual. Working all week. Training Tuesday, Thursday. Just the usual.
Getting into obviously the journey, getting into the game, obviously at Hearts at Beechwood. The way you got there, obviously you scored the winning goal against Hamilton. That must have been up there with one of the top games of your career.
Aye, it's definitely up there. Aye, I've noticed probably the top one. To score the winner against a championship side in the Scottish Cup. I mean, there's not really, unless we didn't start, it doesn't get much bigger than that. But no, it was great. It was great to get the winner.
See, obviously, you've got experience against Hearts. I think we said at the time, there's one thing certain: Auchinleck are going to get Hearts. This time it's at Beechwood, though. The last two times it was at Tynecastle. It must be massive for the club first and foremost to get that game, and obviously being on the telly at Beechwood again.
Aye, it's another big money spinner for them, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So aye, great for the club and the fans. The fans are just they're all mad for it down there, and it's good to see another big cup tie coming to Beechwood.
Yeah, definitely. Getting into the game as well, it's a big club. It's the third best team in the country right now, I would say. A team that's got class players. Craig Gordon's in there. You get likes of Barry Mackay, Ben Woodburn. What's the preparation getting into the game? Are you thinking about the opponents, or is it just take care of yourselves?
I think it's just kind of the same as the United game and the Hamilton game. It's just the same kind of preparation. You're not really expected to beat them as such. More so than now that it's Hearts, but we'll just get into the same as we went into the other two games and try and keep it tight at the back, try and hold out and try and sneak a winner.
What's Tommy's attitude towards the game? Is it just business as usual?
Aye, he doesn't change. He's just the same. No matter whether we're playing down at Craig Mark or whether we're playing Hearts, it's just the same guy you get.
Yeah, definitely. Getting into obviously the game, the atmosphere, it's better obviously with 3,000 fans there as opposed to 500, which was possibly going to be a couple of weeks ago. How big are the fans going to be for this type of game?
Massive. They're just they're one of a kind of fans at Auchinleck. They're the first on your back if you're not playing well, and they're there to back you up when you're doing well. So I think the fans will play a big part, and if we're going to beat Hearts, they'll need to play a part in it to win the game.
What's your thoughts yourself? I mean, you're going to play up against likes of John Suter. It's John Suter, Stephen Kingsley. It's a good defensive line. Are you worried about that, or are you just thinking about just getting the game as much as possible?
Just getting the game, aye. It's international players you're playing against, you know what I mean? But I will just take it like any other Scottish Cup tie and just try my heart out basically and just try and get the win.
Definitely.
Which is going to be this time.
Aye, definitely. Wishes all the best, Graham. Thanks very much for joining me.
No worries, Scott. Thank you.
Cheers. We spoke to all three teams and they're all giving their predictions, things like that. Let's do it ourselves. This might sound a daft question, but who's got the best chance of going through to the next round, do we think?
It's got to be Clydebank. You know, that's the easy choice and one that I'll happily take.
Aye. What do we think? Right, we'll go through one each. We'll get a score prediction for all three games. Clydebank against Annan. I think Clydebank will win. I'm going to go 2-1 Clydebank. I think they'll get through.
I think it'll be a draw. I'm not sure. Does it go to a replay? Or...
I think it goes. I might be wrong. If somebody can clarify. I think it goes to extra time.
Right. Okay. Well, either way, I think in 90 minutes it will end up in one each. It'll be a kind of nervy, tight affair. And listen, it'd be great if Clydebank did have enough to do it in the 90 minutes. But I think it'll be a tie that goes all the way. If it is on the day as well, I think it could even go all the way to penalties. You know.
Aye, I'll double check that, but I'm sure it is. I'm sure I heard that it was going to extra time. I don't know if I'm 100% on that though. Darvel going to Arbroath. Obviously, Dick Campbell's Arbroath, who are sitting top of the championship. It's going to be tough. What do you think? Do you think Darvel will have a chance of getting through?
I've been saying all week to folk, I think Darvel are going to surprise folk. You know, you look at the team they're playing, and you know, Kelly and Inverness and Partick are all losing to Arbroath, but I think it's one of these ones. Dick Campbell's not going to underestimate Darvel, there's no way. But I think it's natural for players to maybe take their foot off the gas a bit when they're playing a non-league team at home. You know, everybody knows all about that, Darvel, of course. But I think it's just natural for players to kind of take the eye off it a wee bit. And if they do that, Darvel will punish them. You know, they've got players there that are going to punish them. And I think it probably is too tall an order, so I'm not going to probably not going to predict Darvel getting a result, but I think they will surprise folk, and if things go their way, there's every chance, they could put a kind of shock in there.
As Mick said, and a lot of folk I've spoke to have said this, you just want to do that. You just want to do yourself proud, don't you? It's a game. It's a game. Obviously, there's a bit of pressure, but you're going against a team who are flying. It's not as if like Darvel are expected to win. Same with Auchinleck as well. You go there and do yourself proud. That's it. And it's some occasion for the players as well. It's one of some players and its coaching staff, fans will never forget. So, I think Darvel. I wouldn't put it past Darvel to get maybe a draw. But I think it will be a mammoth task, and I think it will be the same with Auchinleck. As much as I want to see Auchinleck win, obviously the friends we've got there as well, it's a mammoth task. You're playing against a massive team, a team that's flying as well.
Yeah, aye. So Darvel and Talbot, they're both playing two of the most informed teams in Scotland, which isn't ideal, when you're hoping to get into the last 16. But again, these teams will have seen Darvel and Talbot's results over the years, and they'll be a bit worried, and it could be pressure on their end as well, because it's a no-win situation for these teams, because they're expected to win these games, and if anything goes wrong, it's it'll be one of the worst results ever.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a fantastic weekend as well. Stay up to date with SM Media for all the coverage of the games. Lochlin, what game are you going to?
I'm actually doing a double header. I'm going
header.
to Beechwood for Talbot Hearts, and then I'll be straight up the 76 to Rugby Park.
Brilliant.
For Clydebank United. So hopefully a couple of Ayrshire wins to write about.
Absolutely. Lochlin, it's been an absolute pleasure to be on the show. Thanks very much for coming on, mate.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Pleasure. Thanks very much to everyone that's tuned in. Please subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channels and follow us on social media. Thanks very much, everyone. See you soon. Cheers.